Dude, I feel like this week's episode, I prepped some shit that is gonna like fuck us up a bit.
In like a bad way?
Well, I mean, I don't know, in like a Miss Jeremie kind of way, you know, like in a way that like in a Dr. Pimple Popper way, like in a way that like some people will get a hard on for it, and some people will be like, "Fuck this shit."
Okay, but so wait, for the people who are just listening though right now, like they're driving in their car, they shouldn't like stop listening.
No. But they might hear some things that make them feel a little funny.
But the people who are watching might want to just
the people
go
that are
to
watching,
their car and just listen.
Dude, the people that are watching, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So I want to start off with a personal story, okay?
Okay.
But we should also say Taylor died.
He's not with us.
Taylor is no longer with us. He shut down.
He went offline.
Taylor had an error. So okay, I have a personal story. By the way, Taylor's okay. He's just sick. Whatever.
Yeah.
So here's my personal story. Do you know what a punctum is?
No.
If you were to guess, what do you think is your punctum?
Well, if you said what is your punctum, so I assume that it's something
it's
is
part of your body,
part of your
it's an anatomical part of your body. Everybody has I think 4 total punctums.
Okay, I would say that it has something to do with your nasal like breathing, your nasal passageway.
No.
Okay,
but you're kind of close. You're not
like I'm close,
super
like
far off.
like if we were playing like a hot cold game and parts of the body were hot or cold. I'm like warm.
You're super warm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is it in your upper esophageal tube?
Nope.
Okay. Am I colder?
So a punctum. Here, let me look it up so I get the exact thing. The punctum is interesting. A punctum is a noun, which means a small, distinct point.
Okay.
But in anatomy, the punctum is the opening of a tear duct.
Okay.
Which actually is a very small, distinct point. So the punctum is a very small hole. You have, I believe, I could be wrong, you have an upper punctum and a lower punctum. The upper punctum is the tear duct on the upside of the inside of the eyelid. The lower punctum is the bottom side of the bottom eyelid on the inside. Okay. It's like where your sleepy builds up, your sleepy dust.
Yeah.
You wipe that shit out. Actually, I bet you that, I don't actually know, but I bet you sleepy dust probably comes from your punctum.
or if it doesn't come from it, it blocks it.
Let's look that up.
It could block it.
Is sleepy dust like universal?
Where do you think? What is sleepy dust? Like, is it like?
It's just fucking eye jizz. It's eye cum.
But is it like shit that gets on you, like dirt that is on your eye that then like
sleep? Otherwise, who calls it sleep? Who is calling it sleep? Don't call it sleep. It's sleepy dust. And also, they don't even say sleepy dust. On Google, they say sleep, otherwise known as sleep dust. It's sleepy dust.
Okay.
Do you say sleep or sleep dust?
I don't think I say either. I think I say like eye goo.
Dude, it's definitely sleepy dust.
I think I say sleep, dude. I think I fucking hate this snore because it goes on for way too long.
Okay, so sleep, otherwise known as sleep dust. Eye sand or eye crust. I like eye crust.
I like eye crust too.
That is exactly what it is.
Don't think I've used any of these terms though.
I don't either. I use sleepy dust.
Okay.
Sleepy dust is a mixture of skin cells, mucus, oils, and other eye debris.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It collects in the corner of our eyes whilst we sleep, and we often need to clean our eyes to get rid of it. Whilst sleep has many colloquial names, it is technically referred to as RHEUM. 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 RHEUM.
RHEUM?
RHEUM.
Okay, yeah.
RHEUM.
So it does sound like it comes from outside, gathers like on the surface, and then like accumulates in the crevasse of your of your what's it called again?
Don't say crevasse.
What's the hole called? What's the tiny
your
point?
punctum?
Your punctum.
All right.
It accumulates
All
there.
right. So
but it doesn't come from the outside, from the inside out.
No. I think it's just like it's just boogers from your eye. It's like tears.
It's like all the shit on your face gets stuck in that crevasse.
Yeah. Plus like the oils from your eye, like
right.
from your skin and like the tears from your eyes. I don't know. Anyway, here's my story. I had a fucking thing happen with my punctum. Okay. So the other day, I was at home and I was doing what I do every fucking few days. Clipping. Trimming my beard hairs.
Like how there's now sound effects to these stories.
Nikki,
you must appreciate this.
I got a big beard right now. If you're not watching, you can't see it, but I have like a pretty significant. Look at this fucking.
It's pretty thick.
It's a thick beard. So I had to I was trying to take care of my mustache because my mustache hairs were like falling into my mouth and shit, and I don't like that. So I want to keep my mustache trim and short. And so I was using clippers and I was trimming my mustache. And I felt a hair. A hair went like up into my eye. And I went, oh, fuck. And like that happens every once in a while. So I was like, oh shit. So I like rubbed my eye and then I didn't feel anything. And I was like, oh, I got it. That was easy. So I went on with my day. And it was probably like 2 hours into the day. And I was sitting on the couch hanging out. And Kira's in the bathroom like doing something. And I'm sitting there and I blink and I go, fuck, my left eye. I'm like, why is it? Fuck, it feels like there's something in my eye. So of course, I do the thing. I don't know if you ever do this, but like you take your.
Oh yeah.
If you have something in your eye, you're supposed to take your upper eyelid, by your eyelash. You pull down. You like pull it down, and then you like look up, and look side to side, and then you let it go.
That's a good hard reset on your eyes.
That's right. Yeah. So I did that, and nothing. I still had this like something was in my eye. So I went fuck. So I go into the bathroom with Kira and I go, hey babe, can you look into my eye? Is there anything in my eye? And so I fucking pull down. I'm like doing this fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't see anything. And so then I went to the mirror and I was like, fucking jank it. Like I was just straight up clockwork oranging my fucking eyeballs and I couldn't see anything. And then I did it one more time and I noticed a little like black dot, not on my eye, but like where my bottom punctum is, my tear duct.
No
so I saw
way,
a little black dot on my tear duct.
Dude.
And I went, but then I was like, oh, is that just the punctum? Is that just the hole? Now I know punctum now because I had to look up what happened to me.
Did you dude perfect like trick shot your beard hair into that very precise crevasse in the punctum? No, you didn't. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
So I saw this black dot and I thought that must just be the hole.
Right.
So I looked in the other eye and I went, oh no, the hole in the other eye is like a little pale.
Right.
So there's something in my fucking punctum. I didn't know the word punctum at this point. There's something in my fucking tear duct.
Okay, is that what you said?
I was like, fuck, there's something in my tear duct, I think.
What's the difference between a tear duct and a punctum?
Same
Do
thing.
you know this now?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
That's what a punctum is.
Okay.
Your tear duct is your punctum.
Okay. So why don't we just use tear duct?
I want to be correct because we're fucking doctors here. So I go, babe, is there something in my fucking tear duct? And she comes and she looks and she goes, oh yeah, it's like a little fucking black thing. And I go, is it sticking out? And she goes, if it is, like barely. So I go, babe, go grab your tweezers.
Ew, no.
And she goes, fuck no. I'm not. And I was like, look, I know, but I need, like, in this moment right now, if you love me, I need you to get the fucking tweezers because I got to deal with this. And I'm going to be very careful. And she goes, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, that's a bit, this seems like out of our fucking field.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because, like, as you're saying this might be weird, but I'm going to be vulnerable here for a second. Did you start salivating a little bit? Because, like, the idea of, like...
Salivating as in, like, oh, yeah.
No, I mean...
like, what? Why? Why salivating?
Because, like, there's something about when like say let's be a little bit less graphic here for a minute. Like when you get if you get like a splinter in your finger
Yeah.
and like you get in there and you start digging and you like get the end of it and the satisfying feeling of like pulling that whole entire fucker out at the same like in one fell swoop.
Well, here's
is so satisfying.
Yes.
It makes me like feel like I don't salivate like that would taste good type of salivating. It's that
I get what
like
you mean.
feeling of satisfaction. Of
I get what you're saying.
Removing the thing from the hole.
Yes, I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. You are adding you're already anticipating what's about to happen.
Right.
In this moment, I see as a storyteller, I sort of gave you a foreshadowing moment when I was fucking right?
Yeah.
In this moment where I'm sitting here asking for the tweezers, I forgot that I fucking trimmed my mustache an hour or 2 hours ago.
Right. Fuck, dude.
I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm in for.
I'm sorry. How ignorant of me. I didn't realize how well you set that up.
I just think that this is like a piece of fucking dirt or something.
Right.
Because I can see it. I definitely don't think this is a fucking hair. Okay? So she gets me the tweezers. And I fucking surgically, I like pull down and I take the tweezers and I go in and I very carefully pluck things sticking out. And I pull out, dude, I pull out a hair that's about 4 centimeters long.
No, you didn't. No.
Out of my fucking punctum.
No.
Yeah. And to be frank with you, Bri, it felt amazing.
Right, I bet.
It felt amazing.
I feel that. I secondhand feel that. Right
So I do this, and I go to Kira. I go, "Whoa!" And she's like, "What?" She watched it. She goes, "Whoa!" And I go, "Whoa!" And we're both like, "Holy fuck!" And she goes, "What the fuck? What was that?" And I go, "It's a hair." And she goes, "How?" And I go, "I don't know, but I was trimming my beard earlier, and I felt a hair go in my eye, but then I didn't see it. So like maybe it was that."
Went straight in.
So I had to look this up. I went hair in tear duct. Now, the reason I'm searching hair in tear duct is because this must have happened thousands of times to so many people because it happened to me. Guess what?
The internet has no
This shit
evidence
doesn't happen.
that it's ever happened.
This shit happened once compared to the internet, or according to the internet. And guess where I found where it happened. And also, it wasn't a beard hair. Okay, this is the New Delhi Journal of Ophthalmology. This is I've scoured the internet. This is the only thing I found. This is coming out of India,
dude.
The Delhi Journal of Ophthalmology.
I just want to say that I'm excited to get into this, but if for the people who are super nervous about what's to come later in the show, if you stick around, I will reveal a secret that will one up your story after this.
Oh
is
my
told.
God. Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. So here's the abstract. A middle-aged male presented to the IOPD. I don't know what that means. With complaints of right eye foreign body sensation. Okay. So that's what I had, but I had left eye foreign body sensation.
Right. Like foreign body, like there's something in
my
your eye.
There's pain, there's redness, there's watering. Now he had this for 10 days. So he goes into the fucking OPD. Anterior segment examination revealed a hair in the punctum, which was removed easily with a traumatic forceps. Don't know what those are, but there's some sort of forceps. Patient was prescribed topical antibiotic eye drops and lubricants and followed up after 1 week. Hair in punctum is a rare phenomenon wherein eyelashes, which are shed like regular hair and carried away by reflex lacrimal secretion, and then sucked into the lower punctum due to negative pressure created by the canaliculus secondary to eye blink.
Huh.
We describe a case of hair in punctum, which was removed by a simple procedure, relieving the patient of his symptoms.
Now, just knowing.
So this could have been an eyelash, but I'm pretty sure
it was a beard hair.
I pulled off some beard hair that sucked it in due to negative pressure created in the canaliculus secondary to eye blink.
So knowing that there's only ever been 2 cases of this to ever happen.
Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
So knowing
and Bri, I swear to you, like when I say that I couldn't find it, like hair, I put specifically hair in punctum, you get a bunch of fucking shit that ain't that.
right. So how good does it feel knowing that you got a hair in your punctum and instead of going to the hospital, you fucking took it out yourself?
I pulled that motherfucker out by myself.
Badass.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. So, okay, go ahead.
Do you want to know my thing?
Well,
no,
not yet,
first?
because I want to show you. While I was looking for hair in punctum, I also came across a video on TikTok, which looks like a hair in a punctum, but I think there's something else to this. And this was covered on Dr. Pimple Popper, and she's kind of questioning what the fuck's going on, and she thinks it has something to do with some weird type of like nasal clearance. Okay, so this is one of the first things that's gonna fuck everyone up here. Here we go. Explain to people what we're looking at.
Okay, that has tweezers. Whoa! They're pulling a hair,
dude, it's like
out of the punctum.
It's like a magic trick.
That if you said yours was 4 millimeters or centimeters, that thing
That's
that
like
just
4
got pulled,
inches.
yeah, that was a lot of hair. You know, that doesn't weird me out, but it also
it makes you feel so fucking
it
weird.
also
I hate
doesn't look as satisfying as I thought. Like I imagine if you got the tip of yours that was like really small and pulled out, that would be more satisfying than that long one, I think. But I'm not entirely sure.
I hate that.
Okay. So, what if I
One
told
up me,
you
Bri. One up me.
What if I told you that I had a hair in my punctum right now? Would you believe me?
No. Hold on. What?
Look at my eyes.
Is this happening right now?
Look at my eyes.
Wait, which one? Which
I don't
lower
know.
punctum, upper punctum?
Either
You
one.
can't tell?
Just look.
Okay, hold on. Which and this side right here?
Do you see a hair in my?
Not in your lower punctum. Upper one's hard to see. Oh, look that way. Yeah, that way. No, you don't. But hold on, you do have a little hair right here.
Dude, it's growing there.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That hair? Holy fuck, dude! You got a hair growing on the
Next to my
very
punctum.
edge of your punk. Like
I know,
next
right?
Wait, you knew that hair was there? You were waiting for me to find that?
I've pulled it before.
Did you pluck it?
I've plucked it because I wasn't sure what it was, and I was like, maybe that's
it's an eyelash in the wrong spot.
Right. It's like an eyelash in the corner of my eye by my tear duct. I don't know where my punctum is. So,
yeah, no. So
like,
here's your tear duct is here. I'll show you. Your tear duct's here. I'll fucking no. I mean, you saw it in that video, but your tear duct is your tear duct. No, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah. Your tear duct is right here. This is your tear duct. Look at this. See this? We're not showing this on the screen, but if you were to look at your eye, it is
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not quite on the very edge on the inside, but it's
not in the
just
corner.
like,
it's like on the bottom.
It's where your eyelashes should stop.
Mm.
It's like there.
The
on your
bottom of your eye, your bottom eye flap.
Yes, but you have an upper punctum as well.
Okay.
So anyway, interesting shit. That's fucking weird. You should be plucking that. I mean, monthly, I guess. Holy shit.
But you can't notice it unless you're like really close, right?
Well, I was up in your shit, and I still took me a minute to notice it.
But it kind of looks like if that was my
What's funny is I thought it was just a hair in the way, and I tried to wipe it away, and you were like, that's growing there.
It exists there.
Holy shit. Okay, well, this is very silly. Now, do you want me to fuck you up even more?
Yeah. Okay. I honestly I wasn't too bothered by that. So,
okay. Well, this one I actually can't watch. I have a hard time with this one. So what I'm about to show you, and again, folks, I know most people just listen to the podcast, and that's fine. That's great. But I really just take a second, look at the timestamp. We're like 19 minutes and 50 seconds or so in here. Just look, actually probably more than that because of the fucking intro music and shit.
I'll mark it on
just look
on YouTube.
Look at this on YouTube, wherever you are in the podcast now. Look at the time. Go to YouTube and watch this. This is one of the most fucking crazy, but also like gnarly things I've ever seen in my life. Okay. This is a guy, this white guy. I don't know like the history to this. I found this on Reddit, but it's like this white dude who's like, he's somewhere in like it looks like sub-Saharan African like town that obviously is like third world country. They don't have like a lot of medicine and like medical intervention. And this is a man who had a bone break, and they're showing what happens when you have a bone break that you do not get treated. Okay.
Interesting.
This is worse than any fucking piece of Hall of Meat I've ever seen. So he says, no medicine for pain? Nope, no medicine for pain.
That's the bone right there.
He was like, there's no treatment.
And you're able still to have movement.
Whoa. He just flexed his bicep, but it looks like his bicep is broken in half.
Oh, fucking hell.
The bicep is kind of staying, it's shorter and it's bigger. His muscles, holding the arm together.
Oh my God. Dude, so what I found out was that when the bone broke, what happens is that, and I could be wrong here, but what I'm pretty sure is happening is that the bone separated, it didn't get healed. And so what forms between the bone is ligament.
No.
So he's got ligament in there, and that's what's connecting it. And now it's just new connective tissue.
It's like holding everything
just
together.
holding it all together.
The bone is still
I like the bone's still snapped in half, but there's not like negative space between them. It's just ligament formed, and that's why he can move it that way.
It is.
It looks like when he bends his arm, it looks like it looks like dinosaur legs.
Yeah. It looks like if you had an elbow flipped around backwards in your middle of your bicep.
Yeah.
Like you have like now all of a sudden 3 bones in your arm. But
yeah. You got your shoulder joint, your bicep joint, and your elbow joint.
Yeah. It looked very like that would be so painful while that was healing. Though he didn't look like he was in any pain now, but
no, I mean, I'm sure it's there's probably some chronic
there's got to be
discomfort or something there, but like he seemed very like, yeah, this is it. This is my fucking yada yada da.
I imagine because like when you're really we'll show how little I know about anatomy, but like in your elbow, like in your joints, I mean, like your bones fit into that. Yeah. But if you break your arm in half and there's no joint for it to sit in, it's probably just like bone rubbing on other bone and the ligaments or whatever else, other tissues around there. So I imagine that moving that around quite a bit would cause a lot of pain even after it was healed.
Pretty fucking gnarly.
But again, not that bad. Like I can
really okay. Yeah. I had a hard time with it.
Do you got anything worse? Is that it? Like I
mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I do have one that's like not gnarly, but it's fucking pretty wild. But that's later.
Okay.
That's for what the hell.
All right.
But let's get into this story. This is actually this is kind of a bummer story, but it's fucking interesting nonetheless. This has been covered. I found this one through Artifact. There's New York Times is talking about this. Why millions of Americans are taking deadly risks for medical tourism. This is a fucking crazy story. Last weekend, 4 Americans were ambushed and shot by gunmen after they drove a minivan across the border into northeastern Mexico specifically. 2 of the Americans were killed during the shootings.
Whoa.
While the other 2 were kidnapped for days until law enforcement were able to locate and rescue the victims from a house in the rural area of Tamaulipas. Later reports suggested the group were victims of mistaken identity and were erroneously targeted by the gunmen who mistook them for other people. However, the Americans were also victims of the dark side of medical tourism. the practice of traveling abroad in order to receive medical treatments that they might not otherwise be able to obtain in the U.S. due to financial or regulatory constraints, which we kind of fucking talked about that in our very much controversial Lyme disease episode, which almost got us canceled from all the physicians that like to listen to our show.
Yes.
But we won't go into that because that is drama.
That is a learning opportunity.
That's a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Quote, border cities tend to be inherently dangerous places, but that is where many medical centers that attract Americans happen to be located. Like when we were asked to speak in Monterey for a cancer symposium. I don't think Monterey is technically a border city.
No, I think it's like central.
Yeah. But Monterey was, I remember when we got that booking, I looked it up in Monterey, like Canada, the government of Canada was like, do not travel to Monterey.
Yeah.
If you want to
I
get
feel like they say that
kidnapped and shot, don't go to Monterey.
You know what's interesting is this is like totally my subjective opinion, but like living in the Middle East for 5 years and traveling around the region quite a bit for work, I found that there are a lot of like safety sort of like warnings about visiting certain places that are just like they were probably created at a point in time where there was like maybe a heightened risk or something, but like then the risk was never like removed, and they just err on the side of caution, so they leave that there. But
I will say Mexico, like when I did my trip, when I did my whitewater kayaking expedition, and we did like 21 rivers between Canada, the US, and Mexico. Every year prior to when I went, they would drive. I mean, you drive the whole trip. We were in a bus. We were towing our kayaks.
That's so much
my
fun.
year, when we got to Texas, we actually flew from our location in Texas to Veracruz, where we were going to be in Mexico. And one of our instructors drove the van, or the bus, and the trailer to meet us there, because it actually was like Juarez was the most dangerous place in the world. And this was like during the fucking shit that was happening in Syria. Like this was height of like ISIS shit.
Can you imagine being the guy driving the bus?
Oh, dude, he was. I mean, we talked about it afterwards. He was like, I was fucking shitting myself, because again, like they were afraid of like targeting Americans or targeting Canadians, targeting white people driving like, whatever, like expensive looking shit. And he was driving a school bus with like $30,000 worth of fucking whitewater equipment attached to it. It was like, I mean, Mexico, the cartel situation is like nothing to fuck with. Like it, I've watched Ozark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get it. You know exactly what happens in real life.
So anyway, and it was very real for these people, because 2 of them died and 2 of them were kidnapped. So border cities, no bueno. And this was said by Adam. He didn't say that, but he did say what I said earlier, and I'm not going to repeat it. Adam Wellstead, basically no bueno, a professor of public policy, and actually he probably would have got canceled if he said border cities, no bueno.
Yeah.
So what he said, I'll repeat it. Border cities tend to be inherently dangerous places, but that is where many medical centers that attract Americans happen to be located, which is very much no bueno. And Adam is a professor of public policy and social sciences at Michigan Tech University. He said many people flock to Mexico for medical care. It's important to stress that at the outset, that the 4 who were attacked were undoubtedly victims. 2 of them had their lives taken, while the lives of the other 2 have been changed forever by this tragedy. However, the situation underscores some of the inherent dangers that come with the practice of medical tourism and traveling into foreign countries in order to receive medical care.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because like I feel like medical tourism in a lot of ways, especially ways that I heard about it, it's like glamorized. I know that in the Middle East, like in the UAE, people would like travel to places like Lebanon for like plastic surgery or things like that, or even like I remember hearing of people traveling to like Cuba for dental surgery, I think. But there's places where you can go and you can pay far less for the procedure that you'd pay for in Canada or in the United States.
Like the lipedemic episode that we did recently, where people here in Nova Scotia are like, "I'm going.
You can't even get it here.
I'm going to Japan."
And but it's not even like, but not even because they're choosing to go on a vacation and do that.
Yeah.
But because it's that surgery is literally not offered here.
Exactly.
And so, but I think it's glamorized sometimes by like, oh, well, you could, instead of paying, $2,500 for a root canal, why don't you go to Cuba and get a root canal there and go on vacation for a week or two? And
I know
get to see a new country.
Turkey has a lot of like medical tourism stuff for like cheaper shit.
They're huge for that. And so I think sometimes people are like, it's a bit glamorized, but also like there's a lot of risk with that. And there's a lot of times where people don't want to be doing those things.
Yeah.
And they're putting themselves in risky situations to try to like hopefully end up with a better health outcome. Or, in the United States where like a lot of people can't afford healthcare. And so they're forced to go to places where it's more affordable. And so, like situations like this where, they're forced to go into like a really dangerous, they're forced to go or end up in a dangerous situation is really fucking shitty.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, extraordinarily shitty. Mm-hmm. Patients Beyond Borders, a medical travel advocacy group based in North Carolina, estimates that roughly 800,000 to 1 million Americans, 800,000 to 1 million Americans travel abroad each year in order to receive some form of treatment.
That's way higher than I thought.
Fucking unbelievable number.
Is that? I wonder if that is because healthcare is so expensive in the United States.
Yeah, I would say like 90. This is a fucking crazy guess, but I would say like 90% of it is that, and then the other 10% is like the case of the Lyme disease thing, where it's like, hey, no one in Nova Scotia is treating, no one in Canada is going to treat Lyme disease, but there's a clinic in Mexico that I can go lay on the beach and like get chemo injections to treat my Lyme disease, which actually like probably isn't actually going to help. Anyway, whatever. That's drama. So while medical tourists will travel to far-flung countries like Singapore, India, Thailand, and Malaysia to receive care, they're more than likely to stick to places closer to home like Mexico, Costa Rica, or
Cuba.
Yeah. That makes the Mexican border cities like Matamoros. That wasn't really a Mexican accent. That was more like Italian.
It was. Yeah.
Matamoros, where the 4 Americans traveled to, or nearby Reynosa, fertile ground for medical centers, to service them. But that's where the risks begin, at least for the 4 Americans who traveled to Tamaulipas. The U.S. State Department has issued a do not travel advisory on the state of Tamaulipas due to crime and kidnapping by organized criminal groups. The exact place where the 4 Americans traveled to for the tummy tuck procedure. They were going down for some plastics. Wellstead emphasized that the situation sounds like an isolated incident that may not necessarily reflect the risks that most Americans may face when traveling for medical procedures. But the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention also warns that, like any other medical procedure, medical tourism also comes with risks such as complications from surgeries and contracting pathogens such as Hep B and HIV. I mean, it's like probably different, but like there was that case of the woman who was given like butt injections in her basement and like just killed a bunch of people because she put caulking in their ass.
Whoa, no, wait.
Yeah,
wait.
You don't remember that?
I don't think so. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, maybe we didn't. Maybe I'll prep it for next week. But she was like she was just fucking injecting like caulking into women's buttocks, and she was in like California or some shit.
Yeah, it's really funny. Is
in her basement.
Speak of injecting caulking into things to try to fix it, and butts.
I mean, saying the words injecting and caulking and butt in the same sentence. It's risky.
When I was like 17, Tara Curry was at my house, and I picked her up over my shoulders.
Should I bleep her name out?
No, it's fine. I picked her up over my shoulder, and I pinned her against the wall, and her butt went through the wall in my basement. And I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta fix this. And so her and I like tried to like fix the hole, and I took caulking gun full of caulking, and dude, the hole was like this big, and I just filled it with caulking, and it was the dumbest thing. Like there was nothing in there to hold it
caulking
together.
in the wall.
It looked like such a mess. And anyway, my mom obviously knew, like immediately.
That's so funny. We did that. Shane Timmons did that to my friend Graham at Brian's house. Graham was like, he was so little compared to all of us, and he put Graham through the wall. And then Brian took his poster on the wall. It was like a Pearl Jam poster, and just put it over the wall.
That's a much better idea.
It was great. It was a great idea. Wellstead, the guy that was speaking earlier, emphasized that the situation. Oh, right, it's an isolated event. So the growing demand for medical services in America is traveling abroad to places like Mexico also strains the supply side capacities of these destination countries. Wellstead said, he added that not knowing the health policy environment of these countries might also result in additional medical risks and safety concerns. Yada yada yada. I mean, there's a whole bunch of I'm done with this article. It fucking goes on forever.
So my question for you
is
even knowing what you know now, would you, so say you had a surgery that it wasn't like a life-threatening thing, but like it was something that you really wanted to take care of or fix.
like a tummy tuck.
And it was like, say it was like $10,000 here, but you could do it in Peru for $2,000. And then your flights would be like, you're going to end up paying far less. Would you go and do that?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, Peru, yeah.
So for you, does it depend on the country?
Yeah, of course. Like if they were like, all right, look, you want a tummy tuck and we'll do it in Iraq for cheaper. I'm probably not going to go to Iraq. I'm probably not going to go to Syria. I'm probably not going to go it's in the Ukraine. Let's go do it. Like, let's go get that surgery you wanted in the Ukraine. No. If it's in Turkey, yeah, sure, I'll do that. If it's in, if it's in Japan, you're actually probably paying more for the travel from here.
Yeah.
It depends on the country. If it's in Mexico, sure, but where in Mexico? Because again, like I'm not gonna fuck with like Monterrey. I'm not gonna fuck with Juarez. I'm not gonna fuck with the places where there is a legitimate like cartel fucking crisis happening right now.
Yeah.
Like no,
I would pretty much go anywhere. My thing would be
you would go to Syria
for sure. Yeah,
really.
Yeah, because I feel like this is one of those things that I took away from like working in the Middle East is that even in the countries that are like there's like really bad stuff happening in, they're actually good and safe places there.
Look, I'm not going to disagree with you there, but you can't deny that there is definitely an increased risk. But the increased risk doesn't necessarily mean like if you go there, you're fucking done for.
I would love to
depending on
it's
where,
like a life
where
goal.
you're going. Like you don't want to go to Crimea.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean. Now, you don't want to go to like an actual place where there is active war happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a fucking no.
Yeah, for sure. Right now.
Okay, I was like, right, Brian? Is that a no, or are you going? No, yeah, I'll go to fucking.
It is though. Yeah, it for sure it is. The thing that would matter more for me is the quality of the care.
Right, of course.
Like, is it? Yeah. I mean, can I do enough research to find out that like the standards that they follow, the thing are the same, and not like I'm not even talking about the country's standards. Yeah. I'm talking about like the specific clinic.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a lot of places that do things, operate maybe in a gray area where like the country's rules and regulations
like
are
China.
actually pretty good.
Like,
but yeah,
like I mean, like China and like the whole organ donation situation in China. Mm-hmm. I think in the next like 20 years, we're gonna hear some shit.
I think India's a lot wild. Like India, there's really high quality of care, but there's also places that are probably sketchier. I mean, probably like a lot of places, but I'm saying India because I've been there and have received medical care there.
I just watched a really I've been watching these like travel vlogs. Got into it. I don't even know how I got into it. I think I got into it because I was watching this guy who was going to like hang out with like what he was told was like a cannibalistic tribe, and he goes hangs out with them, and he's like, oh,
right, yeah.
But then I saw this one of these two dudes that were like, we're gonna go travel to Afghanistan, and they were in Afghanistan, and it was like Al Qaeda like controlled areas of Afghanistan, and it was so fucking beautiful. And they were like, actually, it was like, it took us a lot of effort to get here. Like our country basically told us they didn't want us to go and they weren't going to let us go, but we went anyway. And they had this amazing time, and it was like a really cool thing. And they were like, there was only one moment where we felt a little bit off, and it was because we got caught filming at a checkpoint, which is like a big no-no. But other than that, they were like, this is, you know, we were like, it was cool. We were okay.
There's a lot of places in Afghanistan and Iraq that are like super beautiful places that are also safe.
Yeah. The other thing though is like I also like, there is a small part of me that's like, I don't want to, and this is kind of outside the medical tourism. This is like just like as a tourism thing. I would never really want to go to a country that like is like actively supporting shit that I'm like
North Korea.
That I like. Well, I mean that.
I feel like North Korea is like the
even,
country that you can sort of like cast a
no hate. Like no disrespect, because I know I have a lot. Like people probably don't know this, but the name Jeremy Saunders is actually quite big in Turkey.
It is, yeah.
So I got a fucking lot of Turkey lovers, and it's from Artuka. But like, Turkey's got some like. There's a lot of like political and like social views in Turkey that like I just ain't about, you know, when it comes to like LGBTQ rights and shit like that. And I think I would have a hard time like going to a country where I think I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a country where I know that they are just like really fucking behind on the times when it comes to just social norms and like social views.
Yeah, I mean I find I disagree with that a bit, because like, you know, like for example, I have friends who are Saudi nationals.
Right. Saudi's a perfect example.
Who are amazing people.
Yeah.
And like the idea of not going to a country, not getting to meet somebody like that because you disagree with like the general sort of vibe of the place. Like
that's a good point.
Yeah, like I feel like
because that
there's so many good
that view
people
doesn't
there.
speak for the general population.
100%.
That actually is a really good point.
But yeah, like it does feel. I mean, like if it comes down to making a choice of like going from one place to if it comes down to making the choice between two places,
like Turkey and Ibiza.
Yeah, then it doesn't really matter, does it?
I was trying to think of like the gayest place like on earth, and I don't know why Ibiza came to mind, but like, what's the most like positive LGBTQ like country that you can think of?
I don't know. I've never thought
either.
I've never thought of countries that way.
It could be Canada.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone just heard that and we're like, "Fuck no, it ain't."
Yeah,
maybe it isn't, but like, you know, I feel like Canada's got a good grasp on like.
I like how you said Ibiza.
But Ibiza just sounds like they're like, we're all fucking fucked up. We don't care who's here. Like, let's just party. It's just a big party. Anyway, I feel like we're gonna get in trouble for having this conversation. Let's just move on. All right, so speaking of sexy times.
That's a good
Speaking
segue,
of sexy time, I want to show you. What do you think this is? What do you think is going on here?
Those are people in a long distance relationship that are kissing each other by a device attached to their phone.
Kissy, kissy.
Is that right? Oh my god!
Did you know what this was?
No, I didn't.
Wow, Brian, the solution to long distance relationships, perhaps.
It looks gross.
It's called a virtual kissing machine.
My initial reaction is that it's absolutely not the solution to long distance.
Check this out. Look at this fucking thing. All right, so
it kind of looks like a fleshlight attached to the phone.
It's definitely a fucking mouth fleshlight for sure.
Right?
So a remote kissing device has been created by a group of university students in China for people in long-distance relationships. The 3D silicone gadget has a mouth-shaped module, which looks like a fleshlight, but just a mouth instead of a pussy. It is triggered through a kiss, which is then transferred to the mouth on the other side, to the other phone, to the other device. It mimics the movement. Oh my God, dude.
I don't think so.
Oh my God. It mimics the movement, temperature, and pressure of the kiss using sensors and links to phones via Bluetooth and an application.
You know what, dude? Honestly, this makes
me feel fucking
This makes me more sick than all of those other videos that you showed. For real.
Yeah. The device, which was created by a group of universities in China, has been met with criticism on social media. No shit. Some users call the device weird, while others found humor in it, saying the device convinced them that having a long-distance relationship is a pretty bad idea. According to the Global Times, a state-run media outlet, the invention has been patented by the Changzhou Vocational Institution of Mechatronic Technology. Quote, in my university, I was in a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend, so we only contact each other through phone. Jiang Zhongli, the lead inventor of the device, told Global Times. That's where the inspiration of this device originated. I wonder, like, because, like, you could actually make a fleshlight version of this where it's like I'm gonna suck the fucking device, and then you have the part that you just roll over your hog, or the mouth thing. It's like I'm gonna lick on the device, and then you put that on your hoo-ha.
I mean, that would be better than the kissing thing.
I feel like China wouldn't be down to be putting this stuff up on what was it called?
They probably have
Times.
They probably have like mods for it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is like that is like the PR campaign that they're running, but like anybody who really looks into it,
you can put your dick in it if you want.
Isn't that kind of like every ad campaign? It's like this is what this is meant for, but you can also put your dick in it.
The Hitachi wand, it's meant for your fucking back to massage you, but also ram that shit up against your clit and you are gonna come so hard.
Yeah.
A function in the app allows users to pair up anonymously with strangers in the kissing square. What? According to CNN. Meaning users can upload their kisses for others to download and experience. This is fucking naughty.
I know, but like
let's look at it one more time.
But that's the thing is it doesn't look that good. Like
dude. I mean, in that video there, it looks like it's just sucking a dick.
Yeah,
it looks
just
sucking.
It's just
like
kinda,
it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It doesn't look like there's a distinct pattern. It's not like you would be able to kiss and recognize your partner's.
It's when
kiss.
like your friend does the like fish kissy face.
Yeah.
Where they go like,
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. It's exactly that, and it doesn't. It's not anything like a real kiss. Like I just can't imagine
dude,
that
someone kissed
really
me like
moves
that. If someone kissed me like this, I'd throw up between their lips.
Yeah, I think you like actually would. I don't even think you're exaggerating.
That's not how I want to kiss. In 2016, the Gadget Show featured the kissing app Kissenger, a sensory stimulating technology that mimicked a real kiss through a touchpad, similar to the latest invention. The 2006 team created an iOS prototype that plugged into the iPhone's headphone jack and was triggered through the pressure onto the device. What the fuck? It's slightly strange. Quote, it's slightly strange how it's actually moving. The pressure is moving around. Amy Williams from the Gadget Show said, there's some sort of like pressure you then feel in your lips. Dude, this ain't it.
Yeah. No. You know,
this ain't it. You know what is it? The Wii vibe. That's some fucking,
right.
You want a long distance relationship? For sure. Don't buy this fucked up fake fucking mouth and send that to your partner. Send them a Wii vibe so that they can either put in their hoo-ha or stick it up their ass and fucking play with your phone to make them come.
Definitely. Yeah.
Don't be kissing the fleshlight mouth.
But the other thing that is, I think the thing that, so like my question to you is one is, do you think this sells well?
No.
Because I would say,
but you know what?
I would say it probably does, because I'll tell you why I think.
Yeah.
So my reason might be different than yours, because I think that it sells well, probably for the stranger kissing feature, not because it actually feels like you're kissing someone, but because of the idea that can create in your head, sort of like as this like fantasy of like, ooh, like I think I'm kissing a stranger.
Yeah.
That's like kind of.
Yeah. I think that
interesting.
That the people that have that feeling, there's only they're few and far between. It's
I
like
think so too,
it's like
yeah.
a foot fetish. Not everyone's into feet. There's a few people into feet.
There's a lot of foot people.
There is a lot of foot people, but not everybody's a foot people.
Right, exactly.
And the mouth thing, this kissing, this fucking weird ass fleshlight thing, there's gonna be some.
Probably not as
everybody.
many people as there are foot people, but there will definitely be
I don't
a
know, man.
contingent.
It's fucking weird. Anyway, that was that segment. We got one more.
Okay.
This is this week's edition of What the Hell? This is actually crazy. This happened a few years ago. A patient at King's College Hospital in London played the violin while surgeons operated on her brain to remove a tumor.
Whoa.
So Dagmar Turner, she was 53, played the violin so surgeons could ensure that parts of the brain which control hand movements and coordination were not damaged during the millimeter precise procedure. Now, I fucking forgot to prep the fucking Canadian Heritage Moment.
Oh yeah, burnt toast.
Dr. Penfield. I smell burnt toast, so we're going to put it in here.
So, toast is burning.
Toast is not.
Every time she has a seizure, she smells something burning. Now, if we can provoke that smell by probing the surface of the brain, we'll find the source of the seizures. Mrs. Gold, do you feel anything?
I can see the most wonderful lights.
And now what do you feel?
Did you pour cold water on my hand, Dr. Penfield?
Now what?
Oh,
What is it, Mrs. Gold?
burnt toast. Dr. Penfield, I can smell burnt toast. Dr. Wilder Penfield. He cured my seizures and hundreds more. They say he drew the roadmap of the human brain. We just called him the greatest Canadian alive.
I was gonna say you probably didn't even need to prep that, or we didn't even need to show it because everybody knows it. I mean,
not our American listeners
right,
know.
yeah, that's
Actually,
right.
and here's a fucking crazy thing. I was just hanging out with friends in Montreal, and we were hanging out. One of my friends, they brought their friends over, and the woman that was there, we were talking about Heritage Moments, and she's from fucking Canada, and she goes, I don't know what these are. And she's 31, and I go, you're 31? And she goes, no, we watched all of them. And she was like, I've never seen any of these.
how many are there? Because like
There's all the ones we grew up with, and then they kept doing. They brought it back like 2 years ago.
no,
There's a bunch of new ones.
No
The new
way.
ones suck balls.
Yo, what's your favorite one?
Dude, I mean,
Baskets back?
Dr. Penfield's great, but I need those baskets back. But the one that I love the most is Acknowledge.
Yeah.
Acknowledge.
I was
The
like-
Halifax explosion, baby.
I also
Let's
like
go.
through the air and across the ocean.
I like that one. I also love this one. This one's a fucking like this one's a this one's
The
like
Americans
not
are
a-
all like, what
yeah,
the
they're like, what the
fuck?
fuck are you talking about? Well, you just watched one of them. So
Yeah.
anyway, the one I love is they're talking about reading in classrooms, and she's like, your son read this thing. Read it. Like, just look at what he read. He read the like St. James Bible or something, and the guy goes, both of you know I cannot read a word. And then he does this with his hand. And then that's the I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. You fucking can't read, dummy. Anyway. So Miss Turner, 53, she played the fucking violin and while smelling burnt toast. And Miss Turner from the Isle of Wight was diagnosed with a brain tumor after suffering a seizure in 2013. She was concerned over losing the ability to play the violin when going in for the surgery, right? Her tumor was located in the right frontal lobe of her brain, close to an area that controls the fine movement of her left hand, which she needed to use. And here's some footage of her playing the violin while she's getting her fucking brain surgery.
That's
on.
great. This is gonna be crazy.
Dude, is that not wild? She sounds like she sucks at
yeah,
violin.
she does actually.
But
I thought she was
she's
gonna
also,
be-
but also her head's open and doctors are poking her brain.
I think they fucked her up.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
And so
It
we're
is.
looking now at them poking her brain. Wow, that's so wild. What a crazy thing.
That is insane.
Like, look at that. Look at that. She's like, she's like trached. Like something's up her nose. They removed 90% of the tumor and allowed her to retain full function of her left hand.
I'm surprised that she
So
could. I'm surprised that she could play, and
She was
she wasn't moving her head, because you know how like if you watch a musician play music,
they fucking go
and they're
off.
just fucking
Yeah.
jamming while they're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah,
Like
especially
imagine trying to do
violinists.
brain surgery on somebody playing an
Yeah.
instrument.
I mean,
like in general.
I guess, you know, if she's playing the fiddle, there ain't no way she's being still.
Yeah.
You know, you
Dude,
play the
she's
fiddle,
doing a
you got to be
jig.
doing a jig.
Yeah.
You gotta be jigging, you know. By the way, that guy that broke his arm, right?
Yes.
What do you think that break sounded like? That
Probably like that.
or like
yeah.
which
that
one?
was wet.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think it was the first one. I don't know what would cause it to be so wet.
Yeah.
What is the water?
Well, so it would have been wet if he broke it in the water. All right, folks, that is it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. This is fun. It was fun. Lots of fucked up shit. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, go check it out on YouTube. Just to get the visuals, there's some good stuff there. Bro, I'll put the timestamps on so you don't have to like fucking scroll through and scrub
yeah,
through.
I'll at least put the timestamp on where we told you to go and watch.
Yeah. And big shout out to Canadian Heritage Moments. We all love them, and God knows that all of us Canadians in our 30s and late 20s wouldn't be the same without them.
Yeah.
And if you want to, what's your heritage moment? What's your favorite heritage moment? We'd love to hear. info@sickboypodcast.com. Let us know your favorite heritage moment. What's one that stood out to you? We'd love to know. So give us a shout out on info@sickboypodcast.com. Also, Discord channel. Oh, Discord channel's popping off. Discord channel's popping off. So come on over to the Discord. You can find the link in the show notes.
If you want to, and if you want to send Taylor a letter to tell him that you're sending him thoughts and prayers, you can do that at letters@sickboypodcast.com. But he won't get it because he's no longer with us. And thank you to the folks who make this show happen. A huge thank you to Donovan the Meerkat, CPAP Morgan for the sound design on the Monday episodes, and to Rich O'Coin for the theme music, to Take Part for their music that we use sometimes, and to Jeff Lonis. We love you all.
Rich is going on tour at Rich O'Coin on Instagram. Go check it out if you want to see him. He's coming to a city near you.
If you're still here listening to this right now and you haven't seen Rich O'Coin play music,
it will change your life.
you should go and look to see where and when he's playing, because he is going on.
Because he's our buddy.
Yeah,
it will change your
honestly, it's like the best live show experience ever, and I say that like even if I didn't know him, hands down, fucking rules.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.